Good morning. Always nice to begin the week with you here on 3+U. We hope that your Monday is off to a terrific start. It's going to be thanks to our first guest, because we're so happy to welcome Dr. Wayne Stevens to the show. He is a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine with the Wellness Tree. Nice to see you.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice being here.
You're very relaxed.
Oh.
You and I have been chatting for a little bit, and I thought, okay, there's a secret I got to know to this Chinese medicine and acupuncture, because you see a lot of folks who come in, I think you told me, through your doors who are dealing with a lot of anxiety. They're highly stressed. Acupuncture kind of resets you in a way, doesn't it?
Yes, ma'am. It's great for that. I try to tell people, and other people have mentioned that maybe this sounds like a plug, but I think a lot of people in life go get regular massages for stress. They think that's a great way, and it is a great way to deal with stress. What I like to tell people is that acupuncture, let's say if your stress response or release of it with massage lasts a week, acupuncture lasts 2. It's generally like twice as long. It's that effective. Yes, ma'am.
So I think people should know that you're born and raised right here in Chattanooga. Went away in North Carolina, California. You had a great chance to come back, so here you are.
Yes.
Have you found, though, because you've been in practice for quite a number of years now, are people trusting the idea of acupuncture more and more? There was a time, I think, where people didn't understand it very well.
Yeah, I think that more people are trusting it. We get new patients every week, and I love to see that, because it means that the base of people who are trying Chinese medicine or traditional Chinese medicine or acupuncture is growing and growing. And I knew, like, from the beginning that it would be a lot of education, because, you know, moving here, there's not that many acupuncturists.
Right.
And things like that. And so just over the years, it's been about educating people. But, you know, like when cupping gets on the Olympics, when they start talking about acupuncture and cupping on ESPN, SportsCenter, and things like that, it becomes more and more impregnated into our society and consciousness, and so more people ask about it.
All of a sudden, it validates it in a way for people.
Certainly, and it helps too that basically every Western medicine segment is trying to do some version of acupuncture.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. So, okay, I want to focus on the acupuncture side a minute, and then we'll get into the other things like cupping that you do.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it can last a couple of weeks when you have it done.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if somebody came to you, do people come to you for migraines? I'll use that as an example.
Oh yeah, man, I love helping people with headaches. Like, I've been trying to put together a list of, let's say, a top 5 or a top 10 things for people to come see.
Yeah.
Almost immediately. Don't walk, run.
Yeah.
And headaches would be one of those. I love it because, I mean, people with chronic headaches, you know, a lot of it in today's society is because of posture. We're on our computers, we're on our devices, things like that, stress. But a lot of times you can treat a headache if they walk in with a headache before they even leave the office, or before I even leave the room, the headache's already changed or even gone.
That's what I wanted to ask you, is how rapidly these results begin to come in, because if you're kind of going a conventional Western path, sometimes you're having to deal with your symptoms for weeks and weeks on end, hoping that the treatment's going to eventually benefit you. It sounds like with acupuncture, it's a bit quicker.
It's very rapid. Be quite honest, if it isn't gone or isn't, let's say, 50% better by the time I've even finished putting in the needles, which takes about 15 minutes, I'm a little disappointed. I expect it to be gone by the time I finish, and then it's that quick.
I was getting my eyes checked yesterday, and she began to ask me various questions, and I had to sit there and think, you know what? I don't know. I couldn't answer some basic questions about some things with my eyes. I would imagine that happens with a lot of people. So how important is it for your client to tell you everything that they're experiencing, and how much of it do you discover on your own?
I would say, like, if you having a symptom or something, no matter how small or insignificant you think it is, it's better to tell, because there are so many different variables and symptoms that actually help to narrow down the diagnosis. With actually placing in the needles and the acupuncture is not quite as important as like if we were dealing with like some herbal formulas and things like that, in the sense of differentiating between what's causing it, right? Because there's so much overlap with the needles that we can treat a lot of things with just that, you know? Some of it, like I try to tell people that my diagnosis on people starts when they walk in the door, when I first meet them. There's something like one of the diagnoses, ways to diagnose is through observation. So I'm already observing. When I talk to you, it's also about your voice, your cadence, how you present yourself, right? So that's already helping me discern like what's going on. Your chief complaint, your chief complaint is like what we're gonna focus on, but there's a lot of other things that we can do along the way as well too.
Right.
And we can treat multiple things, and sometimes they're interrelated. I always try to take the KISS method. So if I can treat more things with fewer needles, that's what we're gonna try to do.
Sure. So I'm sure people are wondering, you mentioned there aren't very many acupuncturists in town. Acupuncture is very different from, say, dry needling. So where did you get your training?
I went to a school called Five Branches University out in Santa Cruz, California for my master's degree. It's a MTCM, Master's of Traditional Chinese Medicine. And then I came back home, and then probably about a decade later, I went back and got my doctorate from the same school, but they had a separate campus in San Jose. And so that was where I got my training for the doctorate. It was basically flying out to California like once or twice a month for a long weekend.
That's a lot of traveling.
That was a lot of traveling. I got a lot of sky miles, a lot of red eye.
So let me ask you this then on the Chinese medicine side of things. Is that, you mentioned the cupping, but then are people gonna also take ingestible things with you, like teas and that type of thing?
Yeah, right now we're not doing a lot of teas, but yes, ma'am, you can do that. I started off in my practice trying to do loose herbal formulas, which would be a tea someone would brew. I love that. It's really cool. Being able to have that connection with the plant, because plants are medicine. But right now we're doing a lot of tinctures, really, capsules, and supplements. We carry Standard Process, Evergreen, and for our tinctures, this company, Little Giant Herbs. They're based out of Portland. And you can tell people what is in those different products that you're recommending? Oh, yes, ma'am. It takes me reading the Chinese, and the opinion really is the English version of Chinese, to go through the herbs and things like that, but sure. We can tell them what's in it and what it does, what it's there for. So you mentioned, while I've got you, that you were trying to compile a list kind of 5 or 10 things. So you mentioned the headaches. Can you think off the top of your head of some of the others that? Yes, ma'am. Stress would be number one. I love it when people come in for stress. I'm just, need to reset, recalibrate. Number one, low back pain is really easy, pretty straightforward. Tons of people have low back pain. We've had phenomenal success with knee pain. That was one of the first things that the WHO approved for acupuncture was actually knee pain, arthritis, through arthritis for sure. Help people there. TMJs, actually. I love treating TMJ. Very straightforward, easy to help. Same thing with trigeminal neuralgia. What is that? Trigeminal neuralgia is kind of the opposite of Bell's palsy. It's still affecting the same facial nerves, but it's more pain versus paralysis. Wow. Okay, so that was 4. That was 4. And then headaches, that would be super easy. Okay. I also wanted to, if you want to throw in a 6, I always tell people after they come in for menopausal hot flashes, symptoms like that, that I wish every woman with menopause in Chattanooga would come see us. Really? We can really help them. You may have helped their husbands too. Oh yeah, for sure. So, do you treat younger people? Yes, ma'am. We treat younger people, people of all ages. I leave it up to When parents bring in children, I like to get the consent from the child to put in the needle. To me, that's super important. So if they can consent to that and they're willing to accept it, then for sure. There's other ways. In the past, on one of my nephews, I've used actual tuning forks, send a vibration in through the point to help with some eye disorders, and there's other ways. Like I said earlier, capsules for ADHD, if they're not willing to accept the needles. My boys would rather me use external herbal formulas or herbal formulas, capsules, internal, different things like that versus receiving the needles.
It's kind of it's its own path to walk in life, but once you've had the benefit of using a different type of medicine than just conventional Western medicine, and you see it work for you, you become open to all different types of considerations. I think it's a fascinating conversation.
Oh, thank you,
So
Julie.
now we have his top 6, and then you throw in there ADHD, but I think you got him at menopause. What's the line from Jerry Maguire? You had me at hello? You had him at menopause. The Wellness Tree on Dayton Boulevard, 877-3770 was the phone number, ChattanoogaWellnessTree.com. So you heard Dwayne say he's a dad. We tell our dad joke of the week. I said Dwayne, I meant Wayne. You know who you are.
Yeah.
We tell our dad joke of the week every Monday here on 3+U. We don't. Our corny dad in-house, Jason Wright, tells it. So here he is this morning.
Your dad joke of the week brought to you by Linderman's Furniture.
Hi there, and welcome back for this week's installment of the Dad Joke of the Week. I went to the doctor recently. She told me that I've really grown as a person. Well, her exact words were, "You've gained some excess weight." So this guy walks into a bar and he's got a newt on his shoulder. And the bartender says, "Hey buddy, that's a cute lizard. What's his name?" He says, "Tiny." He says, "Why is he named Tiny?" "Because he's my newt." Thank you.
Hey, if Jason's joke put you to sleep, come to Linderman's Furniture and find the perfect recliner for you. Located in Ringgold, Georgia, we offer free local delivery and free haul off of your old recliner. Come in and enjoy a laugh with us and find the perfect recliner for you.